Okay, here's the second part to our recording for this, since I can only record 10 minutes at a time. So on the test, they put their names at the top. I'd suggest including, your Unit 6 test, something like that. This was their directions for the entire test. So think about if you want a direction for the entire test or if you want to put them in each problem. And then you can see that they gave problems. They have some diagrams in here, and they wrote their problem out, and then they left space to complete it. So think about that as you go through this, okay? The last thing that I need to do, or that I want to do, is I want to go through the entire packet with you. So if you have your packet out, I'm just going to highlight a few things as you go through this. Task 1, you don't actually have to do anything, just read it, go through it, make sure you understand it. Okay. Task 2, fill in this chart that's here. Task 3, make sure you go through and understand these directions. Choose the correct solid created by rotating the figure about line M. In the last column, if the figure is a cone, cylinder, or sphere, write down any dimensions not mentioned in the answer. So what I mean by that is if you choose a cylinder with a height of 5 units, then over here, a cylinder also has a radius and a diameter as dimensions, so you need to include those over here, okay? And you can kind of go through and kind of see what you're doing with that. For this section here, just be careful. These are going to be a little bit tricky, but that's the idea of it. I want you to think about what figure it is. So it might be a cylinder minus a cone or whatever it happens to be, and you can write those in. For task 4, the cross sections, make sure that you read the directions on each one and go through it. We have a lot of similar questions. So in part G here, you're going to see it says circle all that apply for what it's talking about here, and then sketch the cross sections in the 3D shape, which means I want you to go through, and in here, I want you to sketch in whatever the figure is. So if it happens to be a rectangle, whatever it happens to be, sketch it in that diagram where it would go. The link that we used to show the cross sections may help some of you here. And then in the ones like H, it says check all that apply. And then to the right, make sure you sketch the correct ones shown inside their 3D shape. So you're going to sketch another cylinder over here. And then you're going to sketch, if you think you can make a rectangle, how can you make a rectangle in that cylinder? So that's what you're going to do through that task. Task 5, I highly suggest you highlight these directions right here because a lot of people miss this. For all of task 5, if it is a non-exact answer, you are going to round it to 3 decimal places and write the exact answer. For every question in this section here, you're going to do that. So make sure you understand that. And then in task 6, you actually get to choose whether you approximate or write an exact answer. It's up to you. Okay, so those are all of your tasks. When you keep going through, you'll then see your rubric. You can read through your rubric. Ask me if you have any questions about how you're being graded. These first 40 points are homework points. These next 55 points are test points, and these last 15 points are assignment points as well, homework points that are going through there. Your last goal is to make the test, and again, there's some more information right here on how to make your test, what you need to do. The 10 test questions, so only 10 questions. You choose if you want multiple parts to a question or how you want to do that, but there need to be 10 questions. The questions need to be challenging. Make sure it's not based on how long they take, it's based on the amount of thinking that goes into solving them. So think back about some of the tests that we've taken. I give you challenging questions that aren't meant to take a really long time. They just make you think a little bit more in depth into the concept. Okay. And then you can keep going through this. The 2 to 4 pages is just a general guideline with 10 questions is about how you should format it, but it's not specific to anything. And then again, when you are solving this, you can choose if you want to do it like we did the packet, and you can take pictures of your solutions and enter them into your document, or if you want to just completely do a worked out solutions document and take a picture of that completely and send that to me, we'll kind of leave this up in the air and see how it goes from there. Okay, I think that's all the information that you need, and we'll go from there.